I'm Neil, and this is my Aston Martin Vantage.
This is what happens if you don't let a guy get the Porsche Cayman GT4. He's going to get itchy feet, he's going to question his loyalty to Porsche, and look at what he's done. Oh, this is amazing. Neil, you've done really well. Look, you can talk, but I'm going to go look at the car because this is awesome. It's the first time I've seen it properly off the driveway.
Yeah, so it's 13, like I say, 13, 14 days old. It's lovely. At the minute, it's kind of still scary because it's like double the money of the Cayman. And it's a massive engine, and it's an Aston Martin. You know, so it's a totally new experience, which is making me feel quite weird at the minute.
Well, I can see that if someone is going to push the financial bit above a GT4, I can see how this car fits. Check out this car. I mean,
yeah, I mean, again, we've got the rear haunches like the Cayman, so there are similar lines. But again, it's an Aston Martin with such flair and finesse, and they've done it, and it's aggression. Yeah, it's quite a back car. Yeah, it's definitely a James Bond looking car. Yeah, it's quite futuristic. The front grille, yeah, they've done it as the Shark Eater. Well, actually, I think they advertise it as the Predator.
I think you've definitely picked the right colour choice on that.
Yeah, Onyx Black.
Definitely. I'm very, very happy for you. I know you've only had the car a few weeks now, but in terms of coming out of the Cayman, the GTS, getting into this car, talk us through some of your experiences and what you've kind of felt as an owner in terms of bonding with the car. Because you mentioned the engine, and there's a lot more power in this car than a Cayman.
There's no doubt about it. I've not driven a higher power than a Cayman GTS before on any car, so I'm not sure how it fares with a GT2, 3, etc, etc. Apparently they've put this car out to be a match for GT3s or thereabouts. There's no doubt about it. What a massive power increase. I know we don't need the power, it's just what it's like under your foot. It's unbelievable. It's certainly got some whoosh and some force in it. And like I say, the engine noise is nice. But again, I think, as the Cayman, it's the beauty of it. I think that's the first thing. If it didn't look beautiful, I wouldn't have looked at it. You know, it starts with the beauty of the exterior. There's no doubt about it. But they've extended that onto the interior, and they've extended that onto the engine, how it performs and its noise. Let's start it.
That is crazy.
It is crazy.
That is a very powerful exhaust. And let's just catch this interior while we're here, because I really like this interior. I mean, you mentioned that some people have got mixed views about this, but I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I keep reading that everyone thinks that the button set out is too busy, but it's very clear and concise. There's no confusion. I don't think it's busy. Yeah, it's like a cockpit. Yeah, it's like a fighter plane cockpit. But that's, again, brings on that sports feeling in a car.
Lots of Alcantara.
Lots of Alcantara, lots of space, lots of headroom, not
look at
tight.
These doors. I mean, these doors are amazing.
So
look at, yeah, go on.
Yep, so the doors swing up. So there's a point of like, so apparently they've done that to clear curb sides. There's also a thing which most doors obviously open to 1.2 point. These doors not like that. Yeah, there's literally there's a stay point everywhere.
I did notice that on your driver, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they're promoting. I mean, yeah. So I mean, you can feel they've really pulled the body in there, and then let it swing out again at the bottom.
So this is interesting. We were comparing this to the actual Cayman GTS.
Yeah.
And Neil's just mentioned that there are no side wings, effectively.
There are no side wings. This is one clam bonnet, so that is the bonnet as well. So when we lift, we actually look at the top of the wheels. You've got like fluted increased headliner. So it's quite, they're all kind of muscular lines, I suppose.
And no glove box.
But no glove box for whatever reason.
Wow.
So look at the size of the bonnet.
Jeez, look at that. That's a whole single piece. And big tyres on the back, wasn't it?
295.
295.
295. 295 35. And one brake caliper, another brake caliper.
See, I've never seen that before. Two.
No.
You should feel very proud for yourself. I'm sure you've worked really hard in life to get to this point.
It didn't come easy, it didn't come quickly. I'm aging now. And I've probably got enough marbles to keep the good control of the car at the minute. I don't know what it must be like in another 10 years to try and drive a car like this. But yeah, I'm really, really lucky. So like I say, for a couple of years, let's look forward to the experience with this. I'm going to keep the Boxster at the moment. And we'll see what happens with the GT4 and see what Porsche have to say.
Well, listen, Neil, I'm really thankful that you reached out to me because, Neil is kind of hit the reason that Max Revs exists when he sent me an email. Is that we're not 18-year-olds, we're not 20-year-olds. We've been through a bit more in life. We've maybe have a family, we've got kids to look after. We're not just like selfish sort of 25-year-olds. And he kind of reached out and said that in my videos there was something that reminded you when you had your Caymans earlier on. And I think, this is what makes the story of car ownership more special, and that's why we enjoy life and cars, okay? It's not just about the cars, it's how we got these cars. And Neil, I take my hat off to you. It's a remarkable achievement. We'll grab a coffee in a minute, and we should give credit to, is it Lancaster Seven Oaks? So when Neil went into the dealership to buy this car, they actually sold it to him. Unlike Porsche Tunbridge, and I know it's not technically their fault, but what really surprised me about the allocations for the GT4, we were talking about this earlier on. Andreas Preuninger said in that Carfection video that the allocations for the 718 GT4 were going to be well above the 981 GT4 because they recognised they didn't make enough.
Is the Spider and the GT4 now going to be easier to get hold of?
We believe in listening to customers. People should know that in the meantime. And you got it right. Really, we're a little bit shocked by the response of the market on the 981. This time we really want the enthusiast to get the car. I met a lot of people here, so we have to clarify one thing because I heard so many times they say, "Oh, my dealer said the cars are sold out." What the dealer means is the contingent of 2019 might be sold out, which is normal when you communicate a car. But there will be 2020 cars and maybe 2021 cars, so we are preparing production to get all the cars to the enthusiasts that deserve it. We're definitely gonna try to meet the demand a little bit better than last time.
Forget a GT4. If I wanted a GT2 RS, I can't get one. So the same thing is going on a little bit with the Porsche thing, Whereas where Aston Martin are standing, Porsche might have their comments against the Aston Martin. Of course they will. It's the competition. Yeah. But I got one. I'm standing there with my money. If you all go down the high street and you want to buy something and you've got your money in your pocket, do you want it? Even if it's not now, can you get it in a couple of months? And I could not get that answer about that GT4. And still haven't got that answer, still haven't got that call, still haven't got that email. So I don't know. I could be waiting another 2 years or never.
What you think. If you were on the waiting list for a GT4 and you didn't get your allocation, which other cars would you consider? So smooth. If you didn't get a GT4 allocation, would you stay loyal to Porsche, or would you go, you know what, I've given them a lot of business over the years and now it's this time to change and consider another brand, as Neil's done, Aston Martin. I think what I'm realising is that all these different cars, they all offer something different. This progressive power delivery you would not get in a Cayman. You wouldn't even get it in a normal 911, you'd have to get a 911 turbo. Yeah. And I think this is just another dimension to the car ownership, I think. missed that, I could do that in my Jag. Right, so yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. I'm shutting off the cameras now. It's been an awesome day with Neil. Thank you very much for your time, Neil.
Thank you.
We've had a great time. And yeah, let us know any questions you've got for Neil, and I'm sure we'll keep an eye out on the video and try and answer them. Enjoying life and cars to the max. You may notice that I'm not on that side of the car. Now, I'm actually a little bit... This is an amazing opportunity. I'm in a Aston Martin, okay? This is Neil's car. It's got how many miles on the clock? 43 miles on the clock. I'm gonna wait till it's totally clear. I love this steering wheel. You know what? I'm getting a bit of that Corvette that I had.
Yeah, I agree. You had a, yeah, it is.
I do love this steering wheel. Is this the standard steering wheel?
No.
Oh, okay, you've optioned it up. I can't believe I'm in an Aston Martin. Neil, we've just met. You know, it's one thing reading about a car, being a passenger in a car, but yeah, unless you get behind the wheel of the car, you don't get to see or feel the car. And you know what? I get the same thing with my Cayman. It's like the car's a glove.
Yeah.
It's a close-fitting glove.
Don't you think it's like, and also under the pedal and this. Do you know what this reminds me of? I didn't have one, but I had a friend who had a 1970 3-litre V6 Capri.
Oh, really?
And that used to just open up and unleash. And this feels like it's got those stallions and horses all waiting. You know?
This really does take me back to my Jag XFR, because he's got 4 litres, it's 500 brake horsepower on tap, and when you put your foot down, this car just goes. I love the sound of that engine.
It's a purr, isn't it?
Oh, it is. But
It's just big engines, isn't it? So you're in normal suspension and you're in normal mode.
This one all...
So it's all in standard. Actually,
Okay,
standard is
gotcha.
called sport in this.
So if I do this button, that's the suspension.
Yeah. And if you press once on the right hand S button, you'll get yourself one up.
Yeah, S plus.
So it's gone S. Yeah.
You know what? The throttle response is...
Yeah.
It's you know, like...
I'm saying the ZF box is obviously good.
It's amazing. In terms of power band coming out of my Cayman, there's all that power on tap at any RPM. I mean, this is below the speed limit, but you just give it a tap and that's it. The speed just adds on. Given the fact there's a massive engine in the front of me, I wouldn't say that I'm getting a big overhang on the front of the car. So, Neil, you need to do a long trip in this car.
I know. It's got that feel, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. You just feel like you want to drive and drive.
Trip. Yeah.
What a wonderful car, Neil. What a wonderful car.
Good.
I think what Sonny said when he was sitting in your seat, he was like, Max REVS is about top blokes meeting, sharing their love of cars, having a drink and just catching up. And Neil, I thank you for allowing me to get behind your pride. I never would have thought, never in a million years, as a guy that has a Cayman S, and that's the top of my budget, I'll be honest. Neil saw my video when I was on the that zip wired, and I did the video about the Cayman GTS and the GT4. I said I loved the cars, I couldn't afford them. Neil had his GTS. He reached out to me and said, you know what, I've got a GTS. He didn't tell me until we met. He's got all these other cars as well, so that was just the added bonus in this video. This is going to be another long video. Apologies, it's going to be a long video, but we've got a lot of material to talk about. The GTS is for sale, so contact us on any of the videos, and Neil will keep an eye on the comments thread. And this is why the GTS is for sale. He's got an Aston Martin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who would have thought little old me would be driving James Bond's car? Okay? Like a throttle delivery, there's a little bit of a lag, you could say. But the minute you put your foot down, there you go. Maybe it's coming Sport Plus. What's the next one? Is that?
Yeah, when it's fully
T?
red.
Oh, I'm not doing T.
Did you see it come
Yeah,
fully
now
red?
it's gone in track. Is that track mode?
Yeah. Now,
I just want to see how the
pedal down.
Yeah. It's adapted the throttle response as well.
Yeah.
So on the Cayman, there's something called a sprint booster. The accelerator pedal.
Yeah.
It's all done by computers. There's no mechanical linkage.
Right.
And that sprint booster alters the throttle response.
Yeah.
So I feel here it's done the same thing on the
Right.
throttle response. Oh, you got the pops on the exhaust. I remember being in my Jag. You know, my wife and kids hated the Jag because I was driving that car. Eddie calls it yo-yoing. You'd let the gap build up in front of you.
Yeah. So you could do a bit.
Yeah, you narrow the gap. I'm back in the passenger seat. I can't believe I've driven an Aston Martin. It's a very different experience to a Cayman. Okay. It's for me, I have to call it like a GT car. Okay, that's how I felt. I just felt I wanted to keep on driving and driving. Yeah, it's a bit chalk and cheese compared to this in the Cayman. Like similar in certain respects, very different in other respects. So. Thank you very much, Neil. I can't believe how this day has gone, and it's definitely well worth waking up at 5 in the morning for this. And it's not even 3 o'clock yet, so we've managed to pack in a lot today. This is how you enjoy life in cars to the max.